Hi guys, welcome to the first review I'll be doing on Ubuntu 11.10. This is their latest stable release distribution. So I do understand that they've brought out 12.04, but as this is their most stable release at the moment, that's 12.04 is still in its beta stages. We're going to be doing the review on this operating system. So we'll be covering three things, as this has to be relatively short, as my last review was too large to upload to YouTube. So I'll just be quickly running through installation, software, as well as the overall performance of the operating system itself. So we'll get straight into it. Just a quick note, I will be referencing Linux Mint 11 when I speak about Linux Mint. I do realize also that Linux Mint's latest stable edition is Linux Mint 12 Lisa, LXDE, and KDE 4.7. However, I haven't had my chance to load these operating systems up and take a look at it, so I can't really reference these in confidence, but I did use Linux Mint 11 for a rather long period of time. So when I refer to Linux Mint, if there's something you're not quite agreeing on because you're thinking of 12, well, just remember that I'm talking about Linux Mint 11. So we'll jump straight into it. The installation, it took about 15 to 20 minutes to install the operating system, which is absolutely amazing for an operating system install in my eyes. I remember when I was installing Mint that it took half an hour just to get the setup to be working well enough not to hang and crash the system, and then furthermore it took another half an hour to install it at least. So that was really surprising for me. Along with that, it was really easy to install. You've got your equivalent of Mint for Win application which installs Mint alongside Windows, which this one is called Wooby, which by looking at it, it seems it pretty much stands for Windows Ubuntu installer. Not too sure, maybe it's just a coincidence, but that's just how I remember it. It installs Ubuntu as any other application would in Windows, but obviously it lets you run your Ubuntu operating system alongside your Windows operating system, which I've done now, as you can see. I did mine a little bit differently without using this. I ran mine off a live flash drive, which is what you've got in front of you, and then installed it from that live mount then. The only thing it does with your Windows partition, which I was really surprised with when I was installing Mint, it did crash my Windows sector and I had to do a clean reinstall, losing all my files. The only thing it does is shrinks down the partition, which is obviously to be expected. Other than that, it does not touch the Windows file system, which is absolutely great to keep in mind too. So there was no problems during the install, and your Windows operating system will be untouched, so you can always boot back into Windows and completely get rid of Ubuntu as in any normal other application, just from the control panel, and then remove programs depending on your operating system version of Windows. So we'll go straight back onto software. We'll start with the Unity menu. Sorry, the Unity Desktop Manager. This is light years ahead of GNOME, I'll say that straight away. It's absolutely beautiful. It's amazing in every way of what it does. It's just an all-round package. It's just great. You've got your 3 quick links up here to media applications and your internet applications, and then your search. And then you've got obviously your quick links, your Firefox, which is the default browser for this distribution. I'm pretty sure it is across the board anyway. Your Thunderbird, which is Firefox's email client, and then you've got the Banshee music player. Click into media apps. This button down here pretty much does the exact same thing. it goes straight into Media anyway, so basically this button is just this button up here. So you've got your tabs over here of all of the applications. They've just been categorized. They've been categorized very well, and this kind of reminds me of the ISC 4.0 Android operating system, so that's pretty cool too. You've got your three main panels down here, the most frequently used, your installed applications, and your apps available for download. Now the applications available for download is pretty interesting for me. I sort of think of it as a marketing attempt, as obviously developers can work with Ubuntu and get their applications kind of thrown at you in a rather, or what would be the word for it? A rather subtle way. It's not beaming out at you saying, hey, download me, but it is just a suggestion of what you could be downloading, and just a program that you could use in this tab, so that's really good. We'll take a quick look at the developer side of things, as that's what I'll be using this operating system for. This is obviously here, it's pretty empty when you first come up, which I was pretty disappointed with. I was kind of hoping for a C++ IDE, or even a Java one, a really popular one like Eclipse, but it does come with the GNU, can't remember what version it is, but it does come with the GNU compiler, so that's a really big plus too. So I'm sure this will be filling up pretty soon. We'll skip over to the software manager. The software manager, coming from Linux Mint, this is light years ahead of what they've done. The Mint one seems very bland and very boring, but this one definitely jumps out. It's got your advertisement panel up here, which is it's not annoying advertisements. It's not trying to just get money out of you, which is really, really good too. But all this is categorized very well at no compromisation for performance, so that's excellent. I'll just show you around a little bit in here. You've got in your developing tools, like I said, this is what I'm going to be using it for, so this is what I'm going to be focusing on, the software side of things. It's all categorized excellently. I'm kind of not understanding why Mono develop... Oh no, it's not. Mono kind of has its own little thing over here, but to me it's an IDE. You've got all of your most popular IDEs here just right in front of you, so that's really good. All you have to do is just quickly press install, and depending on how fast your internet connection is, you'll just have the program within minutes. So that's excellent for those people who are a bit scared of downloading applications for Linux on the internet, because I know it can be a pain sometimes. I've had to try and figure it out, so this Ubuntu Software Center just completely eliminates that need to do that. So as you can see, it's just downloading now, 9.5 megabytes. That will come out to a larger file. You can see all your updates that you've done through here, which is pretty cool too, because you can uninstall them through that as well if something goes wrong. Now we'll skip past out of this and we'll go straight to the Ubuntu One application. This is Ubuntu's equivalent of Dropbox, but the reason I like this over Dropbox is because it's fully integrated into your into the operating system itself. So you can click on pretty much any file. Ubuntu One's just down here, synchronize it, whatever you need to do. You can get a whole folder and use it to synchronize with the servers, so anything you put in there will go straight up to your Ubuntu One service. I know it know I was a bit worried about what applications could actually, or what platforms could actually have Ubuntu One software, but I have read that there is an application on Windows and stuff like that to use it, and I'm also presuming that, seeming as the main page on this, you think it would kick you back to the main page, but it doesn't for some reason. So yeah, that's a really handy tool. Like I said, I prefer it over Dropbox, as it is fully integrated. So whatever files you have on your computer, you can just right click. I know Dropbox is integrated in to Windows as well, but it's just not as integrated as I would have liked. It doesn't come with it. This Ubuntu One is a part of the operating system as much as anything else is. It comes with it. It's ready to go straight out of the box. All you need to do is put in your details and sign up, and you've got full access to it all the time, which is absolutely excellent. Now we'll jump straight into the performance side of things because I'm running out of time. The performance of the operating system I've seen so far, it was a bit slow on the live mount when I was using it off a USB, but you can't really take a shot at that much. It was running pretty well for what it was doing, but it uses about 500 megabytes, say, around there, idle memory. It's obviously using a lot more now, but it is encoding as I'm speaking. So the distribution across the CPUs, like the CPU load distribution, is well done. When I was using Mint, it seemed to favour cores 1 and 3. I'm not too sure why. It might just be my processor or the drivers I was using, who knows, but it was definitely favouring cores 1 and 3, which to me felt like it wasn't unleashing the full power of the operating system itself and the computer. So there you go. The system specs I'm doing it as an AMD Phenom II P960 Quad core with 4GB DDR3 RAM on a 160GB hard drive, which 61 or so, actually about 70 to 80 gigabytes of that is dedicated to Linux itself, with its swap files and everything like that. So as you can see, it's pretty much the latest kernel, everything like that, so everything's running very well. I was very surprised how seamless this operating system is. I'm also running the 64-bit version of this. It's running without any flaws as well, so I can't vouch for I can't vouch for the performance that you'll see on 32-bit, but I'm presuming it won't be much different. So I'm pretty sure everything is in native 32-bit anyway. There's only a couple of applications that are 64-bit on here. I heard someone say on the forums. I can't say that's completely true. That's just what I heard. So I wouldn't say there's much difference between the 32 and the 64-bit. I'll just run through a couple of quick problems that I did have with the operating system to finish this up. The wireless drivers for the Broadcom chipsets is absolutely horrible. It took me about 2 hours to get it up and running. I had to do a 320 megabyte update before it even told me what the problem was. The problem ends up being that Linux seems to turn off the hardware switch when you're using it, or when you turn it off, it just seems to randomly turn it off. And because there's no native drivers for the laptop keyboard that I'm using, it requires me to boot into Windows, turn the switch back on, and then boot into Ubuntu again. So that's very, very inconvenient, and I hope this gets ironed out soon. But the last Ubuntu version I used was version 10, and the same kind of problems were present back then. So who knows if they're going to fix it in the meantime. So if you're a laptop user, just be aware of that if you're dependent on the wireless networks. The battery time is also pretty sad. I get about 3.5 hours usage on Windows battery when I'm on power saver, but this just seems to chew through the battery. It's at fully charged now. Just take the charger out and it'll pop up. That was kind of exciting, seeing 3 hours and 41 minutes, but when I timed it on my phone from a complete charge to a complete discharge, it turned out into an hour and 38 minutes run time. So that's pretty appalling for a 9-cell battery. I don't know how they're managing to have such bad power management. I really hope that gets ironed out. But overall, if this was on a desktop, if it was a main desktop operating system, it'd be absolutely amazing. And especially for developers and business people, it's very easy to use, very easy to navigate through. You've got your LibreOffice just over here. It boots up straight away. Very robust and very straight to the point word processor. Obviously it comes with the presentation and everything else you can see down here. So there are your quick links. I'm not too sure. I haven't been using it enough to know if you can add stuff to the launcher and stuff like that, but I'm sure there's applications on the software center that you can actually alter this. So the word I was looking for with this was Excel. I had a bit of a mind blank. You've got your word processor, your Microsoft Excel equivalent, LibreOffice Calc. It's not just a calculator as I thought it was, and then your presentation. So there is more to it, I'm pretty sure. You go into here, your Office, your Draw, Math, etc., etc. So you're not cut short, even though it's a 690 megabyte download for this whole thing. You're not cut short with the software that you need, and you're not overwhelmed by bloatware, which is great. So overall, if you've got a desktop, this is definitely the operating system for you. If you're looking to Linux, I hope I've ironed out any questions that novice and intermediate users can have, and I hope that advanced users even can use this as a reference if they're contemplating upgrading their personalized PCs to this version and going through personalizing it again. I couldn't find a review that told me what I needed to know, which is basically just the installation, the software that came with it, and the performance of the operating system itself. So I hope I've answered those questions for the people that have similar questions for that, and I hope I've shown you enough of the operating system that you'll be comfortable with a decision when you're looking for your new Linux distribution. So have a good day, guys, and I'll see you soon.